Right, hello, it is Yay Emacs number 12, Hi Stream. I'm Sasha Chua, and today I'm planning to categorize my Emacs news links. I've already gotten a head start on it, so we'll see how it goes. And I did spend some time earlier just trying to get my speech categorization thingy working so that I can keep talking to you as well. So let's see how it all works, and if people drop by, fantastic, and if people don't, then at least the Emacs news gets done. So I'm a little bit of a ways through, and some of it, yep, lots of cool stuff. Yeah, let's begin. Alright, I think I have audio again. Okay, I have audio again, I think. Does this work?
Projemiz.
Okay, now we can hear.
Evet. Git remote. Tekrar yazalım. Git pull.
Okay. I don't know if I can evaluate this. So probably I'll skip it for now, okay? Alright, here we go again. So yeah, I've roughly categorized the links from there. And then I want to go through some of these different sources to see what people have been talking about. I have a link to that one already. Huh. What does that even mean? Interesting. Okay, I'm still looking for like a repository or something I can link to. More composable. Oh, here we are. No, there's still no linkable thing. Link, something I want to link to. So right now I'm looking through the Blue Sky updates for things that are on the Emacs hashtag. Emacsing, huh? Let's go see what else. Alright, that is mostly what we got for Blue Sky. I think interesting in the news, in the hacker news world. Ooh. I don't know. What do people think about this in the comments? Okay. Let's stick that in there. Oop. Alright. Huh. They recorded this time. That's interesting. Emacs ATX doesn't usually record stuff.
Yeah, you can try that.
Okay, let's stick that in the community section. I just enabled org autolist, so I'm still getting used to the idea that there are hyphens that show up automatically. What is this? A book? Could be fun. I don't think I have it yet. Almighty. No, I do not. Alright. Let's stick that in here. Oops. So. But maybe without all the caps, yeah? There. Okay. Yes. audio. Audio is tricky, but eventually I'll get the hang of it. Thank you for confirming, J7GY8B, that it works. So what? It's just a April Fools. Yeah, okay. Don't need to worry about that. Books. This must be the thing that's making all sorts of stuff happen. But this is a Git bug. So, I don't know. Yeah. Alright. And we'll probably skip that one. Hmm. Alright, let's stick that in. Let's sort this so it's... Oop, not. I don't need sort lines. I didn't mean sort lines. Okay, I meant my org sort list. My Emacs news sort list. There you are, my Emacs news sort list. Yeah. Where was I? I was going to stick this in the AI section. And okay, that's that for Acre News. There's a bunch of other like Reddit like type social link communities, which is this even Emacs? Less so. Okay, like programming.dev, and so these are all like ActivityPub, right? They're lower traffic, but I like to link to them and check them anyway, just in case it encourages people to go and do that. So yeah. Oh hey, let's pop out this chat and bring it on, because we are awesome. There you go. And in fact, I can say keep it on top. Keep above others. Fantastic. Whoop. Keyboard shortcuts. They're hard. What is even going on here? Okay. So, this one. Someday I'll get the hang of it. And there. And then this is the window I want to maximize so I can see where I am. Perfect. Alright, where was I? Now I get to look through Mastodon. And with any luck, this stuff will work. So, I have a go to social instance sometimes up. I have like disk space issues on my virtual private server that I have to get to the bottom of someday. Anyway, but since I don't get to all the information, I have this little function that checks a bunch of different servers, including Mastodon Social, and just scrapes all the Emacs hashtags from them. So now I'm going to go through this and then say like, okay, what am I going to boost and save to my capture file so that I can share it. Yeah, is this new? Yeah, that looks like a new post. Okay, so a little bit of a shuffle of the tabs here so that SpookFox goes in the right place. Let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, yes, I'm going to include that. So then I say W writes it to my news file, and I'll organize that later. Fantastic. Yay, Devin's got new setup with email. I just got discovering the wonderful integration with org. All right. Oh, there was that thing about Jabber, which is in my news file, so we'll get to that soon. Huh. Alright. Oh, I didn't know about the other window prefix. Okay, Control X4, Control X44 are keyboard shortcuts, right? Okay, makes things show up in a new window. That is interesting. And I'm so glad that Emacs and phones is becoming more and more valuable, especially with Emacs Speak. I'd love to get the voice input stuff working there too. Okay, let's see what else. Yep, got that already. Huh, I like that. I'm going to borrow that. Oh, that I'm talking about is you can use Android's text-to-speech. So that's fairly straightforward for reading things, I guess. Where are we now? Okay. Huh. Why didn't this show up? I don't see that in my custom sorting. Oh yeah, no, it did show up. Okay, it's there. It was just updated. So I'm looking through Mastodon to find things to include in Emacs news. Spookfox has opinions about what it considers the live tab, like the top tab, so it's easier to just use the one it's opening browsers in. Oh, opening tabs in. Oh, I got this one already. Thanks, Howard, for nice words about my thinking out loud about Emacs coaching with Prot. Do I already? This doesn't look like something I already have. How recent is this? Oh yeah, okay, that's 4 years ago. I think I already have it. Let me just double check. Let's see. Yeah, I do. Let's go see what this thread is about. Alright. Okay, they already pointed them to emacsconf.org, so that's fine. is this more useful? Yeah, so the Emacs thing, the Emacs security issue that part of the internet is a buzz about is mostly a Git issue. But there is a way to work around it, so maybe I'll include this more than the other stuff, I think. YE12 to use marginalia to annotate LLMs in the model picker. Win move with the shift arrow keys. That might be interesting. I don't use my shift arrow keys for much. And it does make sense as a keyboard shortcut, so maybe I will try that too. Let me add a note to that. Try wind move with shift arrow keys. Did someone point them to Emacs Speak already? I'm sure. No, semi. Okay. Normally I would respond to these things straight from mastodon.el, but because this is actually a synthetic buffer that grabs the stuff from a lot of different things, and my go-to-social server doesn't particularly like searching for URLs, Semaphore Social is kind of a good backup. Oops. And you've probably already come across Emacs Speak. There. Alright, so then I can look at my news.org and summarize these items. Emacs talks. Java revival, yep. Meeting notes, yep. So there's this thing over here that displays the title of the first link. Jump to coding toot, bug fixes. Annotations. Tip about using wind move. Excuse me. Okay. Workaround for the Git-related security issue lots of people are talking about. Alright. Emacs using Android TDS in Emacs. Yeah, that's the same one from earlier. Tip about using other window prefix. X44. And yep. And don't need that. Okay, so then I can take these links and stick them in my news file. Over here and start categorizing them. That one was other. This is mail, news, and chat. I actually already have it, but I'll deduplicate it later. That's community, mail, news, and chat as well. Navigation. Can I make that top? Guys, coding. I'll make it top level. Multimedia, mail, news, and chat, navigation, and work mode. Okay. Alright. Let me temporarily. Actually, I can just start a new frame. I am checking my mail because Andres Ramirez usually sends me links from Emacs Devel, which is handy because Emacs Devel is so busy and they talk about a lot of things that it's a little over my head right now. So it's helpful to have somebody else kind of say, hey, these links might be interesting. I just have to wait for my mail to finish checking. And while I'm doing that, I can wait for, I can organize some of these links here. So this is the 16th. Where is this? 16th. Okay, it is actually the end. Alright. Okay. YouTube. Stick that on there. Alright, that's definitely a beginner thing. Okay. That's useful. That's actually more of a completion thing, so let's move that over there instead. Yeah, okay. Alright. I think this might be the same as the video. Yeah, it is. So I can collapse that into one line. Let's export. Okay, so what does this do? Run a function. Running a function every time something in org static block is called. Specifying HTML boilerplate for org static block. Okay, this is like import, export, and integration. YouTube. Oh, my mail is done checking. I need to not much search for oh, I don't think he sent any today yet. Okay, we'll just continue. If he sends Emacs devel links, I can include them next time, and I can take a look at it myself. Go. That's this one. That's the same. Are they the same link even? Yes. Okay. Alright. That's the same also. That's the same as that, so we can just consolidate these links. Text is more fun than video, so I'll put the blog post first. So let's use that one, and then let's use this. There you go. And then let's collapse this one. And let's stick those together. And that's Carnival. I am still waiting for this page on newbies and starter kits to show up, but in the meantime we can link to this one over here. Alright, that's this one. Let's change this to just a short Reddit link, and oops, it can go in here. And let's see what we've got here. What else do I usually do? Oh, I need to also, oh yeah, check Emacs devel. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's include the link to this one. That wasn't fun. Let's Let's try to find the beginning of this. Is there like a parent to this thread though? Thread index. Yeah, or maybe it's last month. Previous. Long discussion. Good morning, Pancretia. Emacs devel. In here. So, long discussion. What is this? Maybe this is also a newcomer. I guess. Alright, let's see if there's a linkable thing here. I will skip that for now then. Alright, and then we'll just mention there's no page for the Emacs Carnival for April yet, but we can start thinking about the theme. Oh no! Audio is totally broken! Boo. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me take a look at this. Where are we? Okay, live streaming, yes, OBS. So this is epwgraph, which Pipewire graph, but Emacs, kind of like qpwgraph, but I made an Emacs version. And then, oh yeah, so basically I killed my voice activity detector thingy, which was probably trying to grab the audio device, and which I will figure out how to do it someday. Oh, it's because, see this OBS input here, for some reason it's getting things from the Yeti stereo microphone capture instead of just this virtual mic sync monitor, which I was using to add some latency so that it can buffer it a little bit. Yeah, so this epwgraph over here. And what I like about it is that I can disconnect things. Disconnect, for example, this capture. Capture this to. Yep, and disconnect the other one as well. Theoretically, which apparently didn't do. Disconnect node, disconnect logic node. Okay. Disconnecting Yeti stereo microphone capture to OBS input. Let's see if I totally break this. Oh, look at that. And then the Pipewire graph updates, and theoretically you should still be able to hear me. And yeah, so I was having a hard time just dealing with this qpwgraph thing. Okay, this is qpwgraph. Look at that. I'm like, really? It's nice because then you can like dynamically change things, but but there's like no completion and stuff. So so I wrote this library, semi thingy, and then I don't know how to do, like, I'd love to have mouse events do this, like, you know, take the SUG and drag and drop new connections to things, or edit or delete connections. But in the meantime, there's a completion interface, so I can do things like rewire the inputs for a logical node. It disconnects all the stuff that goes into something and then rewires a different input into it, which is nice for things like when I am using Google Chrome's speech recognition instead. And I do have this in GitHub, so let me go get Sasha C epwgraph. Sound is weird. I don't know how to quite do it yet, but that is where it is. And yeah, it visualizes it. You can filter things as well. So for example, if I want to epwgraph show, I call it with a Control U prefix, and then I can say focus, which takes a regular expression and shows me, for example, only the things that are connected to the Yeti. And I can exclude things also, like for example, if I wanted to get rid of all of the volume control things or whatever. Anyway, so this is just the stuff that has Yeti in it, in the device name, and you can do that with Control U meta X epwgraph show. So yeah, and behind the scenes, it's just using .viz as a dot or graph viz to lay this out nicely. I like it very much. And the reason I was doing that was because I want to be able to eventually demonstrate more of this, like, speech input stuff, which had probably the same kind of audio issues that we were running into earlier. If I have multiple programs trying to get audio input, then it starts complaining and doing weird things with the packets because they're all trying to grab from the same thing at a time. So theoretically, I have a virtual mic sync where I direct the Yeti output into so that different things can read from it, but apparently it's not super reliable. I will eventually figure this out, or maybe somebody who knows Pipewire can help me figure it out better. Anyway, so index Emacs news where was I saying? Emacs Carnival. There's no page for the Emacs Carnival. Oh yeah, I have that fancy auto linking based on my bookmarks. Very nice, very nice. Newbies starter kits already, and I'm sure Senna or someone will round things up afterwards. So this is why, yes, you definitely complain if the audio is not working, because then I can demonstrate cool stuff that I have in Emacs for dealing with possibly the problem. What else? So what? It's been suggested that I write commentary paragraphs at the beginning of Emacs news. What do you think we should highlight today? There's a whole lot of buzz around this, you know. There's a lot of buzz around the remote code execution thing that involves Git, but it's really more of a Git issue. There's a workaround. An Emacs one, if you want. This might be a workaround. And in the meantime, don't check out Git repositories you don't trust. Alright, what else shall we mention here in the heading? Yep, reasonable. I am tempted to mention my very long post about Emacs coaching with Prod, but I think that would be maybe an abuse of editorial power. So if you like that sort of stuff, you're just gonna have to look for it in the links. Anyway. It seems to. Let's hedge this a little. Okay. Enjoy. Yeah. Okay, that seems reasonable. All right, let's get the show on the road. All right. So then it exports it. My thing copies stuff to my server. It hasn't actually finished creating it yet. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to. Yeah, here we go. Fresh off the press. You all can enjoy that while I get this sorted out here. In addition to doing this, I also share my Emacs news share. Oh, my share Emacs news. And while that's chugging away, I'm going to regenerate my website. Yeah, so what this my share Emacs news does is it prepares an email that goes to info new Emacs, and it also pushes the source code to various repositories. There is apparently a package that will read this stuff for you if you want to read Emacs news from within Emacs. I think it's called Sasha C-News or something like that, or Sasha C Emacs News. Somebody made it, not me. Anyway. So I export the most recent to somewhere, yeah, that's kind of Emacs news there. It's fun going through all the different links and seeing the cool stuff that people have posted. So this yeah, it exports the page, and this can take a little while. I should find out why it takes a little while. It is very confusing. I don't even know why. I don't have. Okay, at some point I gotta figure out where position 4927 is, but I'm afraid to cancel this now, so I'm just gonna wait. Waiting patiently is fine. Yeah, and then it drafts the email so I can send it, and then afterwards I also update. I will eventually update Emacs.tv, which is still going. This is a project that Synodium and I think worked on, and I keep adding stuff to it. So we're at 3,527 videos, and I just add stuff as I come across them in Emacs News, so y'all can enjoy. There is a random button in case you want to just click on it and view random videos. Except I have a no, good. It works there. So you can randomly view videos, or you can randomly view videos that have a certain tag, and you can search for things. Let's say for example org. Sometimes I remember org to tag things, but yeah. Anyway, that's there, and that is. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sure, okay. So now it's pushing to various repositories. I'm going to send the email. It's going to complain about stuff. 4927. What is that character 4927 that's causing this delay? Did I take down the language learning workflow stream? Possibly, because I can't remember now if I've accidentally showed stuff, but I do plan on sharing my language learning thing some more, especially since I've been neglecting my French in favor of more Emacs hacking. So at some point, I will demonstrate my my French workflow again, and it just keeps evolving, right? So it's all good. Where was I? Oh yes, I was going to do the Emacs video stuff. Emacs TV from org. So what Emacs TV add from org does is it goes through all the video things and adds them to the org file that is used to generate the data for Emacs TV. Tell me about the stuff that you want to see in the LearnLang workflow thing. I am trying to move my things, my custom code into a library that theoretically other people might be able to use. So, something is not happy. But it doesn't seem too unhappy. Where am I? Point? 20. Oh, where is this? Whoop! I don't know why you're complaining. What? 20104. Alright, it's not a problem because that's in the Emacs development part anyway. So let me just elisp here. Okay, and this is also packaging. Emacs, actually this is a elisp and configuration, and this is org also. And Emacs. Well, I think the learning language stuff will go into LearnLang. And let me, which does have, oops, yeah, oh, no, that's not it. It's in Codeberg. It's actually LearnLang. Which does have multiple files in it. So for example, the text-to-speech stuff is here, and just org file as well. And I have a whole bunch of things for sub-ed naturally. And so yeah, I can turn on shadow mode, so I can left click on a word to hear it. It's all kind of tangled up at the moment still, but at least it's not in my config, so you don't have to copy and paste a gazillion snippets out of my configuration in order to make it happen. And then over time, as I try to write more French and practice speaking and all that stuff, then ideally it will become something other people can use. And I've been really liking using it for things like comparing my pronunciation across time. So here's a quick overview of my workflow for learning how to speak French badly. I can have my recordings over multiple sessions arranged in an org mode table so that I can play them. This is, of course, the web-based version. Le témoin voit le chemin loin. And let me try to just remember where this goes. Oh yes, this is in my posts.org. And the Emacs version is this one. Oh, it's actually hidden in this results here. See? It's a table! It's a table that lets me play things! It's very cool. Dans un coin du bois, le roi voit trois pois noirs. Yeah, so yeah, clicking on the icon will play the audio, and then that can be like, how is this different? Yeah, and then if I've annotated it with notes, then the notes show up here with, like, you know, what the teacher says. You know, he says like c'est mieux or and sometimes he says like c'est parfait, and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. So I think that's kind of the latest in my language learning sort of thing. But I have gotten distracted from categorizing these videos, writing, org, and that's an org mode thing. That's also org. Oh yeah. Okay. Krista has a question. Have you made it possible to analyze how good your pronunciation is? At the moment, I am totally cheating by using the well, first I'm using the assessments of my my tutor who says or as mentioned, like c'est parfait or no, which is surprisingly often when I'm trying to do the sound. He has less air. Anyway, so most of my feedback is that I still have a hard time hearing the differences between certain sounds. So I'm like, I can't, if I can't hear it, then I can't, practice properly. But my hope is that by collecting more data and maybe looking into some of those visualizations, like the Formant analysis. Anyway, there's like research that's been done on this. But in the meantime, I've been experimenting with Azure's. Let me show you what I got for that. LearnLine. So Azure, Microsoft Azure has a pronunciation assessment API, which gives you some kind of numbers. I am not entirely sure about these numbers. These are the numbers that you have displayed here. So, for example, and actually, I have where it displays it in more detail. So here, it gives you scores in like an overall pronunciation score, accuracy, fluency, completeness, and its confidence score. But it's kind of, I'm not entirely sure if it makes sense. It feels a little, I don't know enough to know whether it is reliable. And it can definitely tell the difference between when I am intentionally pronouncing it very badly. But sometimes I'm like, oh, you're scoring me higher than my tutor. I don't know how this is a thing. And yeah. But anyway, the numbers are there just so I can sort of get a sense and like say, oh, hey, my number here is 71 and this one is 91. So this is grenouille fouille les feuilles dans le broussaille. And then this is like a 91. La grenouille fouille les feuilles dans le broussaille. But like, it doesn't give me any detail on what it says. And I've tried other AI systems for trying to give me pronunciation feedback. And again, I do not have the experience to find out whether they are totally making things up. But given that they get the timestamps wrong, when I ask them to say, okay, which timestamps of the span are you talking about, I am less inclined to trust their judgment. So instead, I pay about 20 Canadian a session twice a week. So about 40 Canadian dollars a week in order to get a real human person to tell me what I should try repeating. Like I've also tried uploading short audio samples to Google Gemini, which says it's a multimodal model, so it can process the audio files and it can tell me, try to pronounce more of a h sound here. You're rolling your R's too much. But again, it's hard to tell whether that is generic pronunciation advice regurgitated from other people's, kind of sessions, or whether we're actually looking at this specific thing. So I think the best approach is for me to just practice learning how to distinguish things myself, kind of doing this supervised learning with the help of my tutor. And there's really no way around it aside from a massive quantity of data in my ears and keeping on trying to do it myself also. On the plus side, it's been a good excuse to explore more code. Now I have these things that can automatically go through my recording and diarize. Actually, I don't even need to diarize anymore. I can split it up into multiple tracks and then do the speech recognition in each track separately. And then I can automatically pull out anything that closely resembles the tongue twisters that I tried to say. So given that the speech recognition is just an approximate thing, right? Especially if it doesn't understand what I'm trying to say, sometimes the words will be different. But I use string distance to string distance being the built-in string distance thing for Levenstein. Here we go. It calculates the edit distance between two strings. And then I can use that with some kind of sliding window algorithm over my whole word data from the speech recognition, and then automatically pull out a VTT, like a subtitle file that has the starts and ends, which is actually a really cool workflow, and I should write about and demonstrate how that is lately, because it's very fun. And then I can annotate it with the feedback from my teacher and delete the ones and that I can skip because it's stuff. Or when the speech recognition has dropped some of it, so I just need to trim the timestamps or update it, and then it makes this table for me with either all the attempts or just the latest ones. So for example, I have one here where I'm saying like one word again and again and again. Or actually, I didn't say it again and again and again. I said it many times during the course of the thing. Where do I have it? Word. Focusing on one word. Here we go. Yeah, deep dive. So this is the what's this? 20 different times that I said moo, 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 in one session, and what it thinks it recognized, and the comments. So like this one said no, not like this, and I'm like moo. No, okay, what's the difference? No, actually, this one had more of a U sound. Moo. See, and this is in IPA. This J over here represents that U sound. More of a Y sound that shouldn't be in there. Anyhow, tools, Emacs for analyzing pronunciation audio recordings, which is great. And Pancratia's question: does it support Portuguese as well? I mean, you could theoretically use these things. The Azure as pronunciation assessment languages. Where do we find the languages? There you go. Pronunciation assessment. But does include Portuguese, both Brazilian Portuguese and Portuguese, and a host of other languages. And I should run it on English, because that way I can tell. Okay, but anyway, so you can run it on stuff and get numbers. But I think only English gives you the more detailed things. The rest of it like English will give you like phoneme and syllable and word analysis and all that fun stuff. But all the other languages, you kind of just have the overall number. I mean, it'll also give you a breakdown, but it doesn't. I looked into it and it wasn't enough detail for me. So at least there are some kind of numbers to take a look at stuff. Yeah. So this is language learning, and definitely I should do a thing at some point where either I am writing my journal on stream and going through my language learning analysis workflow. Krista says it's hard to learn language when you're an adult. A child's brain is in a mode to absorb everything. And this is actually one of my motivations for learning French at this time. My daughter is 10 years old and in grade 4. And in grade 4 in Canada, the students start learning French. Unless they're in French immersion, in which case they've been doing it for like a long time. But she's in grade 4. She's starting to learn French. And of course, if you learn a language and it's just confined to 1 hour every day in the classroom, it's not going to stick. If I throw myself into learning French, then I can, I can have fun sharing that with her. She can practice by talking to me. I can practice by talking to her. It is very fun right now where she, tries to squeeze in more French words in the conversation. And she also uses Claude to generate interactive stories where you can click on a word and it uses the comprehensible input sort of idea, where most of the stories in English, except for a bunch of words which are roughly around her level, or uses the vocabulary that the teacher has included in these kind of pretty dry handouts that are just word lists and maybe some pictures, right? Anyway, so she likes generating stories about Pokemon that use French. So a recent one, for example, was Bulbasaur's spring day, because she needed to learn words about Le Printemps, and it was very fun, kind of going through it and learning about l'arc-en-ciel, and other things like that. Anyway, Chris has a suggestion. Maybe you can split a sentence into individual words and let it give points for each word. So this is sort of possible, but the downside is I don't think that the pronunciation assessment is actually all that good on short segments of single words. And let me show you that by looking at that, focusing on a single word thing again. Where is that here? Yeah, so this deep dive in a single word here, where I'm saying mill a couple of times, and I sorted this by score. And you can see here how it's, it's like, it's sometimes there are zeros. I said the word, it doesn't recognize it, and confidence is all over the place, and like all of these are actually me trying to say it. It would probably help if I didn't have my MPV set to something kind of quiet. Let's...
Le roi croit voir 3 noirs.
No, actually. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, so again, questionable reliability, I don't know. And I did come across someone's research about this before, and whether computer pronunciation can make sense, like computer pronunciation assessments, and that paper concluded that like phrase level or sentence level analysis is probably more reliable than more granular analysis like word or phoneme at the moment. And yes, as Charlie points out, the pronunciation of word can depend on the next word because of liaison. So like, for example, if a word, if the next word starts with a vowel, then that might change whether you pronounce the last sound, the last consonant in the preceding word, or whether you say it with more of a z sound. And so probably my approach to learning pronunciation, once I get past this current hyperfixation on tweaking my Emacs setup for streaming and configuration and workflows and all that stuff, because coaching with prod. Anyway, so what I probably should go back to is reading my journal entries out loud, because practice helps, and then relying on the kindness of strangers to tell me, oh yes, that part over there, try this thing, and it might count a little better. But highly likely that the best improvement in terms of pronunciation will just be these sessions with a tutor, because the real-time feedback of my saying different, saying a one word or one phrase in different ways, and then having the tutor go, or no, not that one, or try a little bit higher in your mouth, is probably going to sink in somehow, even if it's unconsciously learned. Like I might not be able to really understand the difference, but I hope that with enough feedback and repetition, it will unconsciously, sink in, or not. I can just keep pronouncing things with an Anglophone accent, because after all, lots of people have Anglophone accents, and it's totally fine. And as long as things are mostly understandable, which means it really helps to get the different nasal sounds correct and different enough from each other that people can understand which word I'm saying. That would be great. And for that one, the shadowing code that I have that lets me step through this subtitle file and kind of listen to the text-to-speech engine or my reference sample, and then record my saying of it, and then allow me to replay that, would be lots of fun. I think would be very helpful. Yes, and you can see some of that in my previous entries, where I've used that to create the recording after cheating by totally listening to the text-to-speech beforehand. Anyway, totally bit of an aside there. There will be a proper live stream on it because lots of people learn languages, and yeah, Emacs is a great tool for this because we can work with subtitles, and we can work with text-to-speech, and we can work with speech recognition, and and we can make websites so that I can share things with my tutor. Like if I export this and then I load it in Chrome and then I share my tab in a session with my tutor, then I can share the audio from the tab without having to do this rewiring my audio with a virtual loopback cable. So web page, much easier for sharing during a tutoring session. So that's where that is in terms of learning pronunciation. Learning writing, of course, is mostly a matter of practice as well. I have a French. I keep my journal in French, and all y'all just have to Google Translate it or whatever else if you don't already speak French. But yeah, that is also a fun way to learn. Category French. Yeah, so that's there. And the previous ones, as I mentioned, some of the previous ones have some. Where is that? I can't believe it's been quite a while since I've posted a journal from. Okay, February. That's the last time I posted something that has an audio recording in it. Really, I gotta get back to that. This one. Yeah. No. Oh no. That even that is just tongue twisters. Huh. Oh, maybe is it a time? No. Yeah. No. A time. I was very proud of the fact that I got this working before. So where is it? Oh, here we are. Okay, February. Yeah. Okay, the previous page has it. Zoop. Previous older posts. So here, for example, so this describes my language learning in French and is narrated in French. So you can click on the timestamps to jump to things. So if you want sort of documentation, by Pancrecio, documentation on my language learning so far, my workflow. You got a translator from French. Have fun. I probably also should get going. It is 10:16 in the morning over here, and the kiddo is probably going to wake up soon. But thank you for dropping by and keeping me company as I made Emacs news, which I have almost remembered to finish up. And I will see you possibly Thursday. I have a 10:30 experimental stream where I work on the things from the coaching session. Lots of to-dos, right? I decided to make it focus on Emacs configuration rather than streaming because more people are probably going to find that useful rather than like a handful of people who are interested also in streaming from Emacs with Emacs and all things Emacsy. We'll see how that goes. All right, coaching workflow. This is a prod asks, and it's community, and this is actually history, and this is Doom Emacs. All right, okay, so that's there. CD Preg Emacs TV. I need to make this npm run build git commit update update a git push. There you go. So that's gonna update Emacs.tv. J7GY8B asks, are you familiar with Elconqu's Twitch stream? I am not familiar with it yet. Tell me about it and I will go look it up also later. So let's add it to checkout. Elconq. I see this. Elconq. Okay. Stream from JY8B. So there, now it's in my to-do list. No, I will check that out eventually. Alright, I'm gonna skedaddle. Today there is, if you're looking for more stuff, Prot's got a live stream today for testing. Ooh, streams out of Emacs, huh? I will definitely want to pick up lots of ideas. And yeah, let's go see y'all next time. Have I only been looking at top chat instead of all chat? No, everything's here. Alrighty. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream and figure out next steps. Probably breakfast. Okay, bye. See y'all. Thanks for dropping by.